Hi guys, I am doing a collab today with several wonderful ladies and we are going to share our favorite organized children's space. As you guys probably know, I have two teenage boys, so I'm not going to show you how to organize toys or anything, but I am going to show you some things that have worked really well for us in organizing things that my teenage boys have, and I'll give you some tips in case you have teenage girls as well. I did ask on my Facebook page, what are the areas that you find hardest to see organized when you have teenagers in the home, and most of you said clothes. So that is one of the main areas I'm going to talk about, and I'll give you some more ideas as well because we just moved into this house a week and a half ago. So I will share some things that worked in our old house or things that I have learned or maybe things that friends do, and I'll give you some tips in case you have girls as well. So as you can see, I am standing here in front of one of my boys' closets, and yes, I did ask if I could show this on YouTube. I'm not going to show every single thing, especially when it comes to their drawers, but he didn't mind if I showed his shirts. They're just shirts and you could see him wearing them, right? So let me go ahead and show you everything in here. Now, when it comes to teenagers, we need to keep it very, very simple, or they are just not going to keep things organized. They don't want a lot of compartments. They don't want anything really elaborate. They just want to find their stuff. And my boys like to have their things pretty neat and organized, but if it was too complicated, they would not put it back. And I'll be sharing some things that didn't work for us. So in their closets, I have it kind of organized where it's hoodies and, thinner jackets. And then my boys do go to a private school and they have to wear collared shirts there, but they don't have a uniform, so they do have a lot of collared shirts. So I have long sleeve collared shirts here, short sleeve collared shirts here, and then t-shirts. So that's everything, and they know exactly where to find it. They know where to put it when it's time to put laundry away. It just makes it very, very simple if it's like this. And then when they go to get clothes, they know where to find a shirt for school, they know where to find a casual shirt, and it's just very, very simple. I like to organize my closet in a similar way. Now, one of my boys has a walk-in closet, and I'm pretty sure he's not going to want me to show everything in there because he has more stuff than just clothes in there. I have pants and shorts hung up in there as well. So if your child has a big closet, I would say just group all of their jeans together. If you have girls, maybe their leggings together. You could clip their shorts and hang those up as well, and just make it really simple. Now, this might not work for every child, and you kind of have to play with their personality. What is going to work. If they just get all of the clothes in the closet and that works, then hey, that's fine. This just seems to work well for us because then they can find school clothes and regular clothes. Okay, as far as shoes go, now my one son, whose closet this is, he loves shoes. He recently got rid of a lot of them when we moved because he had outgrown them. But at our old house, I did get this shoe rack, and I got this from Target. It's nothing really fancy. But before I got this, his shoes would always be a big mess because, like I said, he had a lot more shoes, and he will spend birthday money and everything to get cool shoes, and he just loves them. So I got this shoe rack at Target, and it has 4 racks for shoes. So you could put a lot of shoes on there, especially if you have girls who love their shoes. This is great. It goes right in the closet. I highly recommend something like this. And if you guys watch some of my older videos, in my old house, I had my shoes in boxes and stacked up and everything. That is not most likely going to work for a teenager, but something like this is very easy. They can throw their flip-flops on there. They can throw their sandals or their tennis shoes right on there. It works for boys or girls, and I believe this was only $20. If you really look around, you might be able to find one somewhere else that's a little bit cheaper. But this has really held up, and like I said, we moved it and it's worked really well. In the middle, my son has a spot for his bag, his school bag, and it just goes there. They come upstairs and they can put it here. We did move and they haven't been back at school because it's spring break, but we had the same thing at our old house and it worked really well just to have them keep their bag in their closet instead of somewhere else, and that way it's in their room. They know where all of their homework stuff is, and if they just get in the habit of putting it right in their closet, it's hidden away. Also, for dirty laundry, we had a little bit of a different setup at our old house. I have shown how we did laundry at our old house, and I will put that link below. I used to have my boys separate out all of their laundry. Well, in this house, it's bigger, and my boys have their rooms upstairs, and if they had to take all of their clothes down to separate them, I just know that some of them would be left on the floor in their rooms. So each of them have a small square basket in their closets, and they put all of their hangers in there. I just grabbed their laundry out of here this morning, not for the video. I just happen to be doing the video, doing the laundry. But they put their hangers in here from clothes that they took off the rack, and they put their dirty clothes in here instead of throwing them all over their room or just leaving them on the floor. If they can throw it on the floor, they can throw it on a basket as well. So I would highly recommend putting a hamper in your kids' rooms, a hamper in the hallway. If you have, multiple kids, you could just put a hamper in the hallway, or a clothes basket in the linen closet at the bottom if you don't have room in their closet. You could do just one central location for your children's clothing, and that way they're not lying all over the floor. And if you're, trying this out, it might take a little bit of time, but my kids actually really like to have things neat because they've, gotten the habit of putting things away. So just give it a try and be patient. Okay, let's move on to the next area. Like I said, one of my boys has his t-shirts, socks, pants, shorts, pajamas, and things like that in a dresser. And my other son has a walk-in closet, so he has all of that in his closet. He chose not to have a dresser. So, kids, if they didn't have any kind of organization, it would all just be thrown in there. And I have gone through that before too, where you fold it up and put it away, or they fold it up and put it away, and they rummage through it. So if you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I love using the Dollar Tree shoe boxes to organize. Now, I'm not going to show everything just to respect my boys' privacy a little bit, but in their top drawer, I have a shoebox for socks, one for t-shirts, and you can fit quite a few in here. And I know some of you might have girls, so I'll give you some ideas. But they're undershirts, boxers, and then there's some extra room in there for things like ties and belts and things like that. And that works really, really well. Now the t-shirts stay in here pretty organized because they won't fit if you don't fold them and put them in there, and it's also starting to get warm out. But if they just have a decent sized spot to throw them in, instead of it being too complicated, if they have to put each pair of socks in a little spot, they're not going to do that. At least my kids aren't going to. But if you have just a bin for them to put their t-shirts in, put their underwear or boxers or things like that in, it will really help them just to stay organized. And this has worked so well. We didn't have these, for their whole lives or anything. And I know that, keeping socks and t-shirts and underwear or boxers all in a drawer, it's going to get messy. They're not going to keep, all of the socks to one side and everything to the other. Now, if you have teenage girls, you could put, bras in here. You could put camis in another one, tights, socks, things like that. And then each one is, designated. You could even label them if you wanted to, if that, maybe you have daughters and they really like, keeping things organized like that, and that would just, make it a little bit easier. But if they're like most teens, they just need a spot that they can throw everything into. Okay, I have permission to show my other son's bins that he uses. Like I said, he doesn't have a dresser, and this seems to be working really well for all of the extra stuff that isn't hung up. And if you have girls, you can use the same system and just put her things in a separate bin and label them. But we have one for boxers, one for socks, and one for t-shirts. And like I said, you can just toss them in there and then they can pull them down. I got these from the Dollar Tree and they do have handles on there, so it makes it kind of easy. And I just used some chalkboard labels and a chalkboard marker to organize them. Anything that just helps them to keep things contained and not falling all over the place really, really helps. And it doesn't have to be super organized inside, just, tossed in there, and that way they can grab it down when they need it. I wanted to show you a couple things in my boys' bathroom and give you a few ideas. At our old house, my guys would all shower in the basement and there was nowhere to put their towels. There was nowhere to really put a towel hook. There wasn't a regular door, so I couldn't even do like an over the door hanger for towels, and it would just drive me crazy. So this has worked really well. I put a hook for each boy, and they know, because one of their rooms is right here and one of the others, they know which towel is there. And that way all they have to do is put the towel on the hook, and that way it can dry a little bit and they can reuse it. Also, they make ones that go over the door, so if you have more than 2 children or more than a couple children and you need a larger rack, they make ones that you can just slip over the door, especially if you don't have a wall for the hooks. You could even put a label on there. You could put their first initial if you have more than a couple children, and that way they know where their hook is. But this really helps so that the towels aren't on the floor, they aren't on the counter, they have a spot and they know where they go. I am going to show you a couple things in their drawers as well. I wanted to show you the very simple way that I have my boys' bathroom drawers organized. So we just moved a week and a half ago, but this is working really well. My boys have been keeping their bathroom really clean, and I've actually been pretty impressed. And I have found that in the bathroom especially, it is important not to have too many compartments, not to have too many baskets for them. Don't have, everything complicated where each little thing has to go in a certain spot. I think bigger bins or just a drawer is good. If they put it all back in a drawer, then that's good, because at least it's not on the counter. And what works for us might not necessarily work for kids, especially teens. They have to get up early and get ready for school, and they're rushing out the door, and they just don't want a complicated way to organize things. So each of my boys has a drawer like this, and I chose to put everything they need. Both of them have the same things in each drawer, so they each have their own shaving gel and dental tape and everything, and that way they're responsible for their own drawer and putting it back, and they know exactly where it is. So I just got these from the Dollar Tree: toothpaste, toothbrush, dental tape. They don't need anything complicated. Shaving gel, deodorant, razor, and then Q-tips. So nothing complicated, easy to put back. I just kept the toothbrush and toothpaste separate so that it didn't get gross or anything, and they can just easily throw it in there, and it's been working well. I know if you have daughters, they probably have a lot more stuff. I would say, what works for me and what works for you as a mom might not work for them. Divide up your drawers if you can, and maybe they can keep all of their lip glosses in one spot, all of their eyeshadows, all of their eye pencils in one spot, and at least everything's together. I also think it's really important to get rid of extra things they aren't using. So maybe you could, help them to get rid of, stuff they never use or old makeup, and then really simplify everything. And that way it will be easier for them to find things when they're getting ready in the morning. I hope you found some helpful tips. I would love to hear your tips for keeping your teenagers organized, and be sure to check out the other ladies that are doing this collab. I will have them all listed in the description box below. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.